Peace, my brother. How you doing?
Oh man, glad to be back, Bro.Nasir, and thank you for having me on today.
Yes, sir. I didn't when I wasn't doing streams, I didn't you know, everything reset on the stream yard. So I'm gonna have to do the intros manually. So stand by as we do that, brother, okay?
Okay.
TEP production. Giving out instruction. I just keep it intact, this is a fact, right and exact, I won't step back. Admiration is the feeling that inspires your brain to make you gain self-knowledge, not go insane. I'm Satan's antagonist, acknowledge what I speak. I cannot be duplicated cause I'm born unique. Brother Kareem told me if I want it, I gotta take it. Kareem told me if we need it, we gotta make it. Nasir just said stand up and be a man. You're planning to fail if you fail to plan. Keep your circle tight, know your plight, fight with all your might. Study hard, stay in shape and everything will be alright.
This beat is slapping before I make it happen. I just wanna ask, may I rise higher with fire, made brighter than May, sharp lines, may climb and rhyme and may timing like sirens, may my thoughts may spray as I sway, may play with the day, may each bar may spark from the dark, may making the arc, may I shift, may gifted with riffs, may lifted no myth, may move clean, smooth in between, may carving out the scene, may words guide my glide as the tide, may ride on the inside, may minds free, may deep in the key, may shape in the sea, may I shine, may prime in my rhyme, may throw in the sign, may break norms, may storms in the red form, may lightning is born.
Let's go.
I don't know how I got here. I just know I'm never going back. Just when I thought things were already crazy, it gets worse.
I'm back.
Quan?
Sapphire struggles to deal with her husband's alleged betrayal and coming to terms with Quan being alive after thinking he was deceased. Devante tries to keep a level head while dealing with family issues and unexpected disloyalty. Memories of Dre enters Devante's life in a way that he would have never imagined.
Fire Part 2, the finale.
Get your copy of Fire. It's definitely a must-read. If you enjoy hood books, this one is it. Just like the title of the book, it's officially Fire. Get it on Amazon, paperback or Kindle.
Peace. This is the Enemy's Public. I am Brother Nasir. I'm here once again with my comrade, my brother T. Wiggles. Peace and power, my brother. How you doing this evening?
Man, I'm doing superb, well rested, and thanks for having me on. And this topic that you got, I think we need to go ahead and let's address this properly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree because with the abundance of information and truth that our people have today, the question that we're asking is truth enough to get justice? Our just due. I want to ask you that question. I want to start by asking you that question, brother. Do you think that truth is enough to get justice? Our just due. I'm asking you that question, brother.
This is it seems like the system we're in that hasn't been seen really technically ever in our existence. Truth alone will not get you the justice you need. You're going to
Indeed.
need more than that.
Indeed. Salute to my brother D. Allen Warren and my brother Shank Rock. That's another comrade of mine. And then if you're not subscribed to the
Right?
Rock
And
channel,
even
the brother
though
channel.
reign free, especially when you're dealing with the criminal
Yes,
justice system here.
indeed. Now,
Who will also go against that truth that you are holding. So you're going to have to need more than that. And you got it, Nasir.
yes, sir. Again, the question is truth alone enough to get justice? Now, I want us to ponder this question. We got to think objectively and use historical facts to get our answers. Is truth alone enough to get justice among our people? Has truth been enough to get justice among our people? Overall, based on historical facts, emphatically not. That's the answer to that question. Because the truth means absolutely nothing to blatant liars, to deceptive liars. The only thing that makes the truth effective is one's willingness to fight for that truth and stand strong on that truth. Got to stand strong on that truth. Effective and willingness to fight for that truth and stand strong on that truth. Lies, doing reps in this society beats the truth that's not being exercised. We have to understand that. Truth being presented by people displaying no strength is ineffective. It's like asking strong liars to accept and stand on the truth that you're presenting, and it's not going to work. Which is why I always stress camaraderie, strength, and power and force. We can't see a vicious enemy as someone that would give us justice. They won't give us justice. And I hear a lot of our brothers and sisters talking about what we should do concerning the truth. Now, example, a liar is a liar, blatantly or deceptive. A blatant liar see the people he's lying to as weak, because the blatant liars knows that you know the truth and he'll lie to you anyway. He or she don't care if you know that they're lying. A deceptive liar is trying to get you to believe something, being disingenuous. A blatant liar will say that a nation's chance of developing a nuclear weapon has been obliterated and then bomb them using the same excuse, saying that they're close to having a weapon. That's a blatant liar. A blatant liar would say we need inspectors to go inspect a nation's enriched uranium and whether or not they have nuclear weapon capabilities. When the inspectors clear the nation of developing weapons, a liar would still use that excuse for going to war with that nation, saying that they have weapons of mass destruction, knowing that they don't. People in authority, people who call themselves justice of the peace, people who are supposed to be public servants, are not interested in the truth because they'll support liars and they'll present lies as the truth, especially if the truth serves to their detriment. Now, it makes you wonder why someone take a position in service that require you to care about people. If you don't care about people, why would you take a position that requires you to care about people. It makes no sense. At the same time, they want to be seen as heroes while displaying no heroism. Their entire existence is a lie. A liar would say a man has a gun to justify shooting him in the back, taking his life. A liar would target an innocent man or woman, making them a criminal. That's what a liar would do. A liar would do that. A liar would take a person, ruin their lives, and give them a criminal record. A man or woman who have no criminal record or history with law enforcement, they would ruin their life. Lives are altered and oftentimes destroyed with one encounter with law enforcement. So if our people who have been reclassified over 10 times, identity stolen, land stolen, the ones who have stolen all these things know this. They know that they have committed paper genocide. They know that they have committed crimes against humanity. Now, through our research, gathering information collectively, we know. I want to ask, is that enough? Is it enough that we know the truth among people who don't care about the truth? I say no. As a matter of fact, that these will become highly offended when we throw the truth in their faces. When your very nature is against justice, you are offended by its chances of occurring, especially if you are on the penalty side of justice. Justice is a reward or penalty. If real justice is rendered, we will be rewarded. Our offenders will be penalized. Long-time offenders, that's who they are, and that's what they are. Truth is power only if you stand on it and fight based on the truth. If knowing is half the battle, we have to do the other half. Knowing the truth and having the truth is not enough. We must consider what kind of people we're dealing with. Are we dealing with people who truly adheres to the law, truly adheres to order, freedom, justice, and equality? We have to base that on history, because history best rewards us in our research. A lying coward will send patriotic soldiers to die on their lives. Unpatriotic politicians will talk tough. Hold on a second. I'm live back. I'll call you later. All right, my brother. Peace. That's the God Aboriginal power. Now, the liar would stand strong on their lies and send American soldiers thousands of miles away to do what themselves they don't have the capability or fortitude to do. And then they will lie to them about why they're at war or why they're over in another country. Now, when I ask the question, is truth alone enough to get justice? I would just do. I'm not saying these things to discourage our people. I'm saying these things, I'm saying that our truth is powerless if it's presented with no strength, seriousness, and it's compromised. We have to be serious. We have to have strength. And we have to be uncompromising. Powerful people only respect other powerful people. Now, just imagine with all the truth we have, and we attempt to go before the courts, and they won't even hear us because they're that arrogant, because they're seeing us as weak. An arrogant, self-entitled person will make mockery out of your truth. We have to understand that. Totally dismissing the truth that you would tell them. We cannot go as beggars in front of people presenting the truth. We have to show some strength. We got to show some camaraderie, some unity. That's the only way we can go to anybody with truth. Not among these people. We cannot present our truth weak with showing any weakness. We can't see these people through the lens of our own righteousness, our own nature, because that's not their nature. Their nature is not freedom, justice, and equality and standing on truth. Because they will say, because their truth is a whole goddamn lie. The truth is a lie. Their whole entire existence, their history, their heroism, all of it is a lie. If all you got to do is study and research it. Now, they have proved that they are not the same as us. They proved that. It's not that I'm looking at a person and I'm prejudging them. I've been around 60 years and I can emphatically say that what I've seen, these people are not the same as us. They'll say oops in their foul ups, even if it results in the loss of lives. They'll just say oops. They'll bomb a school, kill 200 little girls, and say oops, and don't even care, feel nothing about it. And then they will say, Godspeed. They'll be doing all of this in the name of God. They don't even care. And the most dangerous thought as a people we can have in our minds, the most dangerous thought as a people that we can have in our minds is that these people changed. You think these people changed from how they used to be? That's dangerous. And I want people with that mindset to stay clear of me, because I don't have time to be amongst people who make light of serious situations. I don't have time for those type of people. And I'll learn right there from now. I just want to present my brother T. Riggles to add to this conversation.
That was well said, Brother Nasir. And what I'm noticing as we speak, this Julio, I don't know the brother's name that passed away, right? When we have that case going on, it seems like, oh, okay, we have justice is being served. I think the right things are happening. But when it comes to real deal paperwork, reparations, something of that nature that's going to benefit us as a whole, there seems to be an issue there. And that's where the criminals, thrive off of, and our system we're in, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that should never be. It should work all the time, no matter who's up there, who's the plaintiff, who's the defense. No one should be paid off. No judges should be able to be swayed. All evidence should be involved here, and then we can have true justice. But if we can't even do that, well, then no wonder there's going to be a revolt going on, or a change as this is happening here. As we continue on, it must change, because if it doesn't change, well, then who's going to be following the law? If the ones up top aren't, why should we? And I land right there.
That's the truth, brother. When it comes to justice for our people, we cannot tiptoe through the tulips. We cannot pussyfoot, and we cannot compromise. There's no compromising when it comes to getting justice for our people. And when you see someone who's willing to compromise, they have been compromised. We have to understand that. When you see people who are willing to compromise, with getting justice for our people, that person has been compromised. I always say, consider the time and consider the people that we're dealing with. We are at the apex of lawlessness, modern day lawlessness. When we have the Federal Bureau of Investigations kowtowing to a politician, refusing to do their job, when you have, you know, not it's not as if the president of the United States office having always been a cesspool of office. It's just that it's at its all-time low. In my time, anyway. An ant couldn't limbo under how low that office is. It's that low, brother. That low. Finding cocaine in the White House, people running up in the Capitol building, and then they get pardoned by the president. President killing innocent men on a boat, saying that they were selling drugs, while at the same time he pardons a convicted drug kingpin who was convicted of selling tons of cocaine. He gets pardoned, but you kill some men. If drugs is bad, you wouldn't be if corruption's bad, you wouldn't pardon someone who's got convicted of being corrupt. If selling drugs is bad, you wouldn't, pardon someone who sold tons of drugs in the United States. We are at the apex of hypocrisy also. So when our people talk about, okay, we've been reclassified over 10 times and we know the truth about what happened to us. I agree with that. I agree with everything our brothers and sisters say. But I'm just asking the question, is that truth alone enough to get justice? And I say it's not. Because a lot of us will go to the courts, we'll go into the United Nations, and we'll present our case. And a disrespectful ass person is not, you'll be lucky if they even hear you. It's that bad that they probably won't even hear you in a court of law or in the United Nations. They'll probably make mockery of your claims. And we can't allow people to disrespect us like that. So we gotta, when we show up to those people, we can't be weak. It has to be rank. It has to be file. We have to be organized. And we can't have everybody talking. We can't have everybody talking, bro, because an idiot will ruin it for all of us, bro. An idiot just running their mouth will ruin it for all of us. We had the conversation earlier, my brother T. Wriggles, when I called you on the phone. And I asked you, I said, what's the number one problem among our people during conversation? Remember that conversation, brother?
Yes, I do.
And that is just saying, bro. We can't have anybody among us just saying. And a lot of us have a habit of just saying. They say, I'm just saying. We got to stop just saying, bro. We got to put thought into what the hell we're doing. We got to put thought into what we're saying and what we present to our people. But a lot of our people would say, I'm just saying. Salute, peace to my comrade P. Moses. Peace. Salute to my comrade Maybach. Maybach Mel. Peace, brother. Thanks for joining. And And we can rightfully
And you
say,
know what?
see, or hear when somebody is just saying, because it don't sound worth for nothing when somebody is just saying. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off like that. My bad. You're flowing. You're going
You're
right.
good,
And I
brother.
and I want to make something real clear, to everyone that's going to be listening to this stream later. When it comes down to these judges, I'm fully into the know that there are the good ones, right? Because I've been watching judges in the courtrooms lately, and I'm seeing how the judges are trying to do the right thing. But then we have some that, take bribes or favor one political party or whatever it might be. We
Yes,
have
sir.
those there. And so from top to bottom, throughout this whole system we're in, right? It just needs to, me personally, Brother Nasir, because it needs to be flushed out. The good one stay and the bad one goes. And I don't know how that needs to be done because I'm not up there yet. Right? But
Your brother,
there
your
has
brother,
to be something.
brother. Who do you quote all the time, brother?
Oh, you
He
already
gave
know.
he gave us the
I'm
answer.
always
Say it anyway, brother.
say it again.
Say it anyway. The
Well,
brother
I
that you
always
always
quote
quote.
with Dr. Khalid.
Not Dr. Khaled, Millie Fuller.
Wait, hold on. Oh, come on now.
Millie Fuller. He had that.
Yes,
That's the answer. What
yes.
what the brother Millie Fuller said. We have to replace a system of injustice with what? A
With
system of justice.
justice.
We got to replace it. That's what we got to do. And as you spoke, you said flush him out, and it has to be zero tolerance for anyone in a position of authority, anyone in a position that can affect people's lives that way. And anyone who would have someone call them your honor and they don't serve the people, that's why I don't call judges your honor. I don't call them that because I don't know him or her. I don't know them to call them your honor. I heard somebody say that, when they referred to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I say the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, they said nothing honorable about him, but they'll go in court and call a judge they don't even know that's about to sentence they ass to prison honorable. I don't call judges honorable until I see what they do. Now, if I see, okay, this man is conducting himself and he's doing honorable things, but you don't just. I saw what you call it, a desk, when you had your name on it, a tag on the desk. It had the Honorable Peter Hegseth. I'm like, what's honorable about this dude? A man who would send grown men to kill children. There's nothing honorable about that. Absolutely nothing. It's all about us knowing who we're dealing with when we go before people. You ever see someone pleading, begging and pleading, and it gives the person that being begged energy, and that person actually like that they got that person begging and pleading? That's a wicked person. I've seen cops do that, laughing, liking the fear that they instill in people. We can't forget who we're dealing with and thinking that they're like us and seeing us, or seeing them rather, as righteous people, we have to be careful. We have to be mindful of who we're dealing with when we're talking about pleading a case or presenting some truth to people. Because if a person or a people, if their greatness is a lie, they're not going to have truth ending that. They're not gonna have truth exposing that. They're not having that. Because it's a certain people, if you tell the truth on them, they'll never say you're a liar. What do? They punish you for telling the truth. They'll silence you. They'll take you off the media, but they'll never say you're lying. They'll just say you're anti-Semitic. That's what they'll say. For telling the truth. But they won't say, oh, you're lying. Why? Because that opens up conversation. So if you say I'm lying, you're gonna have to tell me what I lied about. But they don't do that. They just punish you. They just silence you, not allow you to talk. Put a virtual hand over your mouth. That's what they do. If you speak the truth to them, among your own people, about them, that's what they do. You got to imagine a people. You have to imagine what kind of people you're dealing with that don't like the damn truth, brother. What kind of people don't like truth? Evil people. I'll land right there for now, brother. You just frustrate me.
I tell you right now, Brother Nasir, I don't know who has a problem with the truth. I think everybody would want to hear the truth about everything. You know, and the way how things are looking, like for an example, like in New York, I'm hearing that they want to implement Sharia law. Wait, time out. What the hell are you talking about? This is America, Jack. This is supposed to be the land of the free, right? And we're going to have to as we time goes on, we're going to have to implement that. Like, we really want to be free here, sovereign, right? Because breaking off all of the chains, so everyone can be their best version of themselves, as Charles Johnson loves to tell everyone that. And then the only way we're going to be the best versions of ourselves here is that we have to have truth be the foundation.
Yes, sir.
Because if we don't have that, then the corruption, the lies, the
yes, sir,
deceit, the games that they love to play, these games, we'll never be liberated. That's what we're looking for. Technically speaking, we need liberation here. And I land right there, Brother Nasir.
A liar will say that someone's implementing Sharia law, knowing it's not the truth, is because they have a young mayor that's in his 30s who happens to be a Muslim in New York. So they're using all those fear mongering tactics because New York has a Muslim mayor who's doing a pretty good job over there. He's young, he has energy, and he's doing a pretty good job in New York. So you got people who hate Muslims that will start using anti-Muslim, propaganda. And we all know who runs the propaganda machine. Salute to my good brother and comrade, Dre Cobbs. Salute to you, brother. Thanks for joining. See, that's the thing, brother. We can't be fooled by The media, the news, never-ending white supremacy. That's the news. Never-ending white supremacy. The media, multi-ethnic destruction in America. We can't be fooled by that. We have to, we have to again, history best rewards us in our research. And if we do the research, the question is truth alone enough to get justice? And another question is, have truth been enough to get justice among our people, our just due? Can you imagine, bro? Somebody stole your land and you find out they stole your land and you go to them weak saying you stole my land. Do you think they're going to give it back if you go to them weak? Do you think they're going to be like, okay, you got us, you found us out, you got us, we're busted, we'll pack up and leave, we'll give you your acres back? Do you think that's going to happen because you just approach them only with truth, but you're weak as hell when you approaching them with the truth? It's like, you have my jacket. You think dude gonna take your jacket off and give it to you? As opposed to you telling dude, look, man, run my jacket. Run my jacket. Give me my bike back. Or if it's my bike and you stole it, I'm not asking you for nothing. I'm turning you a flip off it. Because for one, you stole from me. And if somebody deceive you like that, and they stole your land, and you go to them weak, you go to them as beggars, nah, bro, they're not giving you nothing back. They probably turn their back on you and walk away and behave like they're entitled to what's yours. I appreciate the truth that, but some of our people, brother, when they are presenting this truth, they be presenting like far-fetched analogies and tactics on how we should move. A lot of that stuff is far-fetched. Because we have to keep in mind how this system was established and how it's being maintained. You got to consider those things, how it was established and how it's being maintained. We got to consider that. And if you think some Negro is gonna come with some truth and foil and supersede what liars got going on, when the liars are strong, okay, come with your weak truth against some strong liars if you want. It's something that they call offers that you can't refuse. We gotta offer those. We gotta have those type of offers. We gotta present those type of offers that someone can't refuse. When I say can't refuse, if that means that you don't have, there's no pondering, there's no thinking about it. You have to act right now. Gotta act right now.
I tell you,
especially being at the apex of corruption and lies, bro.
Yeah, because Bro.Nasir, what was brought to my attention, shouts out to Dan Calloway for bringing this information to the forefront, right? Where a person was trying to take a brother's home. Okay. Now here's where
brother. I told that a few weeks ago.
So this is Now this is where this system here is a deed to the brother that owns the crib.
I can't hear you, brother.
My check, my check.
I hear you now, loud and clear.
You know, and so the person shows the deed, and then it's ordered by the courts. And now, if the person that owns the house goes to the court and shows document proof, like this is my house, and then the courts go with look at you and say, no, that's not real. We're going by this other person's deed. We got a serious problem here.
Yes, sir. I'm telling you, brother, I would act a fool, brother. It would not be, that would go bad. If you go down, if you look at my property and you go down to the city administration building and you take my name off my deed and put yours on it, and then you go and get it notarized, making it signed, sealed, and delivered, and you do that to me, I'm going to react in a way that you will wish you didn't do that. They are actually doing that. They're going down and they're looking at people's property and they're going and they're switching the names on the deeds and stealing people's homes. I don't know if some people, I mean, some people may get their homes back, but the process to go that you have to go through to actually go through the litigations, the inconvenience, and something, probably the money that you have to spend on an attorney and all that, bro. That's worth somebody getting these size 14s, bro. They will wear these size 14s.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad.
These size 14s, but they won't be on their damn feet. I tell you that much. They'll be wearing these size 14s, but it won't be on their feet.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be mad at a person that did that. I could only imagine, you know, where I was watching the clip, and the clip said that the black lady, she was fighting for 15 years.
It's a big thing in New York. He's still 15 big thing in New York, beloved.
Yeah, like what? And then the people that are stealing these deeds, the courts are backing. Like this woman did it for 15 years. I said, no. Yeah, I would go ballistic. For real.
You're paying your mortgage, brother, and you're paying your taxes. Can you imagine? Because it's expensive as hell in New Jersey. Property taxes real expensive in New Jersey. Mortgage is real expensive in New Jersey. Very expensive. And New York is more expensive than New Jersey. And then you got some of those brownstones that's worth, some of them is worth over $1 million. Those brownstones in New York, the ones in Brooklyn and stuff, those brownstones is worth a lot of money. And then you're paying your mortgage for 25, 30 years, okay? And you're damn near done paying for your house. And then somebody come with a fictitious deed telling you you have to leave the house. And then they're coming with the sheriff department, evicting you from your house after you paid the mortgage on the house. You're getting evicted off your house because somebody stole your house by switching the names on the deeds. How do you react to that? Again, is truth enough to get justice? I would just do. Salute to the brother Milestone Thoughts. And I say truth is not enough because a lot of our brothers and sisters' home been taken like that. The truth was that was the brothers and sisters' home, but it wasn't enough because the people that stole their houses, they went to court. These Jewish people, they went and they switched the names on the deeds and got them notarized and stole the people's homes. stole their homes. How do you react to something like that? When you're telling the truth and the truth is not enough for you to get justice. You got to go through all types of litigation, spend all kinds of money on lawyers, spend all kinds of money going through litigations. How do somebody react to that? That's the crazy part. Now I have a video presentation. I'm not going to show them all. I'm going to show a few of them. Then I'm just going to I'm not going to stay long. I just wanted to ask that question because if we're going to be presenting truth to people, we're going to have to do it with strength. It's going to have to be done with strength. Has to be done with strength. And it's bad enough if other police officers and other people do this to us, but to have our own, because they're in a position of authority, do the same thing to us, that's crazy.
An update to a story we were the first to bring you about the turmoil brewing in the south suburbs, where the Robbins police chief abruptly resigned amid claims he assaulted a man in Village Hall.
That man sat down exclusively with our own Andrew Ramos to tell his story for the very first time.
I didn't know. I started thinking about all type of stuff like George Floyd. I just started thinking about it. My mind was just racing.
His followers know him as Tyrant Terminator Audits on YouTube, and because of what happened to him, we're only going to use his first name, James, as he says he's still coping with trauma.
How you doing, officer?
Good, how you doing?
Pretty good.
It's an exchange James has had countless times.
You cannot videotape me.
Where he films interactions with officers.
You're not arrested, but you can't stay here all day.
And other public employees in government buildings. A form of activism is called an audit, all to test whether First Amendment rights are respected. On July 1st, a visit to Robbins Village Hall, he says, spiraled out of control when he came face to face with former acting police chief Carl Scott.
He pulled out his personal phone and started recording me, and I told him that I was going to get a FOIA for that video that he was making, and I was there to file a complaint.
A FOIA is a Freedom of Information Act request, a form requesting records from a public agency, and that complaint is for what James says was over his first visit to Village Hall back in March, when he first met Scott. That encounter captured on video.
Okay, right now you have to leave.
It ended in an arrest where James was charged with disorderly conduct and breach of peace. Both charges later dismissed. His return to Village Hall started out like they all do, on a cell phone. But this time around, James said things took a very scary turn when the acting chief did not let him leave. Now, footage of that encounter, unclear, because his phone was taken from him.
He started to ask me for my personal information, like my name and stuff, and where's your ID.
As he is escorted to a back room, James says Chief Scott smacked his phone, which was recording everything, out of his hand. It's the last time James saw the device.
So he grabbed me by the back, slammed.
Now, it's bad enough it happens with Caucasian officers doing this to us, but again, those who get positions don't want to affect change, positive change among our people. They conduct business as usual, and some people, when they get these positions, they think that they have risen above the condition of our people, and they'll treat us. Some of them would do like Ice Cube said, slam you down to the street top, black police showing out for the white cop. They'll do that.
Slammed me up against the wall in the corner. And he opened up this door to the back, and he was two officers with us, Officer Harden, Officer Sergeant Yates, and he took me in his room, slammed me down on like this little metal plate where you sit at. And he told the two officers to cut the cameras off. And they just started beating me.
That attack, he says, lasted about 10 minutes, where Acting Chief Scott repeatedly punched him in the face and head, while the other two officers looked on and did nothing.
And at any point, did you think this is it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man.
The crazy part is departmental policy in every police department across the United States. If a police officer is acting unbecoming of an officer and he's doing those type of things, they're supposed to intervene. They're not supposed to stand by and watch a cop beat somebody. They're not supposed to do that. Any cop that stands around and allow that, even if it's their chief, they're supposed to, if they stand around and do that, they're supposed to be reprimanded. And I think they should all be fired for breach of contract, breach of trust. That's what they should be charged with and terminated, prosecuted, and sent to prison themselves. All cops that do that.
Especially when he asked the officer to go get a baton, man. I was like, oh, he'll probably beat me to death.
Photos taken after James was released, where he was issued a nuisance-related charge.
If his hands was free, I don't see how it happened, because the only way that someone would be able to do that to me if my hands is cuffed, and then again, they would have, I use my feet too. They would have to shackle me on my feet too. They would have to. I use my feet also.
Charge appeared to show severe bruising and swelling to his face, which he says was accompanied with severe headaches. James now being represented by attorney Jed Stone.
This is a horrible thing to do to a First Amendment advocate. It will not be tolerated, and they will have to pay.
While not giving specifics, the incident was recently addressed by Mayor Darren Bryant at a village meeting, when he announced that Acting Chief Scott had been relieved of his duties, hinting that footage may soon be released.
I want you all to brace what may happen in the next couple of weeks. Something might be released, maybe not.
They have a young, and that's the crazy thing. These cops would do this. The Caucasian cops would do this with a black police chief, and nothing happens. They'll do this with a black, and I say so-called, a black mayor, and they'll still do these things knowing that they have to answer to, one of us. And if that one of us is a sellout, then nothing happens.
Not something like this needs to definitely get out. So, hope, wishing, and praying that no one else will have to go through something of this nature.
Now, CBS News Chicago has filed,
like the racist cop in Ohio, the racist police chief Thigi. She was undermining the city administrator. She was outright blatant racist, and she just undermining the sister. So the sister terminated her ass, fired her. And that's what you got to do. If you find out a police chief, a police captain, a police officer, a paramedic, a fireman, if you find out they're racist and they are in a position of public service, you get rid of them. That's it. No arbitration, no deposition, fired on the spot. Because most of these people, when they swear to uphold that oath, they're just repeating. They don't even know the oath. They're repeating what they're told to say. And they're only saying that shit to get the job. They don't even mean it. So I think the person should learn it, and they should say it, and they should say it with conviction. And if you violate it, one iota, your ass is gone. That's it.
Of multiple requests to obtain all the footage surrounding this incident that resulted in the acting chief to resign, including James's video that he owns and the video from inside Village Hall that you own. A spokesperson for the village told us that they have no further comment on this case, referring us to the Cook County Sheriff's Office. That we're going to stay on top of this story. When we get an update, we will give it to you.
And this is a video that the story pertains to. I'm about to play now, and it's crazy how that brother did hit another brother. It's
New at
crazy.
4:30, new police body cam video shows a former acting police chief in the south suburb of Robbins hitting a man in the back of his head. We first brought you this story a year and a half ago. Happened in July 2024 when a 43-year-old man came to the police department to file a complaint against the chief over a previous incident. We want to warn you, some of these images might be disturbing.
And for him to do that, that's automatic. See, he's stupid, because if somebody filed a complaint against me, I would stay clear of them. But no, he retaliates and he does all of this on video. He should go to prison. He should.
Yeah, I did it. Tell you, why you being aggressive?
Prosecutors say former acting chief Carl Scott then shoved the man into an interview room, pushed him against a wall, and told him to sit down. Scott then appears to tell.
He's a punk. He's a punk. Somebody like that, I would ask the judge, just let me have him. Give me 5 minutes with him, hands. And I would show everybody in that courtroom what kind of punk he is.
One of the officers wearing a body camera to turn it off. In an interview room, camera shows them grabbing the victim by his neck. He continues to beat and yell at.
Now, why, see what is not sitting right with me is dude hands is free. His hands is free. He's not cuffed. He's not cuffed. There's no way I'm not fighting back if I'm not cuffed. You will have to cuff me or I'm fighting back.
At him for several minutes. Scott resigned, pleaded guilty to battery charges, and has been sentenced to 2 years probation. He also had his lawn.
He gets probation. Now, if that brother had caught him with a right cross across his jaw and knocked him out, the brother would have been charged and probably going to prison.
Enforcement certificate removed, meaning he can no longer work as a police officer.
That's crazy.
Now to breaking news in South Suburban Robbins, where the former former acting police chief, is facing criminal charges. Our Andrew Ramos broke this story last month. 47-year-old Carl Scott was on duty last month when a man known as Tyrant Terminator Audits on social media walked into the police station to file a complaint against him related to an earlier incident. That is where the trouble started. A man whose real name is James walked into the police station and started recording with his cell phone. The encounter then turned. Scott is accused of calling two other officers to help. They were issuing a ticket for public nuisance. When they took James to be fingerprinted, the chief allegedly knocked the man's cell phone to the ground and hit him. He's also accused of shoving this man, and it escalated when they went into the interview room.
He took me in his room, slammed me down on like this little metal plate where you sit at, and he told the two officers to cut the cameras off. And they just started beating me.
He accuses Scott of repeatedly hitting him in the head while the two other officers watched. Court documents state that Scott dropped James's cell phone into a sewer outside the police station, where it was later recovered. If convicted, Scott faces up to 5 years in prison.
He should get more than some 5 years for that, because if the brother had whooped his ass, he'd have got more than 5 years.
We showed you the shocking and what some call disturbing body camera video this week of the now former Robbins police chief beating a man in an interview room.
Tonight, in an interview you'll see only on CBS News Chicago, former Chief Carl Scott spoke to our Dermot Terry, apologizing and taking responsibility for what happened.
He's apologizing. Sometimes an apologize is a damn pile of lies, because he's not, and not only that, an apology doesn't necessarily mean that you're sorry. It don't. Because if he can do all of what he's done, he's not sorry for it. He's sorry that he got caught, and he's sorry he has to pay for it. But I just don't understand how a man who hands is free can allow this. Nah, not while my hands free. Nah.
For more than a year, the former Robbins police chief has been under scrutiny for what played out in the lobby here at the police station. Carl Scott recently pled guilty to battery.
They have, see what it says, Village of Robbins Police Department. It has serve and protect. They don't do neither. They don't do neither of those things, serve or protect.
Battery, and is breaking his silence about a decision which cost him his career.
I don't care what you got.
You're watching Carl Scott roughing up a man in the back room of the Robbins Police Department. The incident happened in July 2024.
This is why when something happened to them, nobody feel no remorse. Nobody feel no sympathy. This is why, because of what they do to people.
But the body camera worn by officers is just getting released of the then chief of police losing his cool and becoming violent.
Everybody needs to know the why, not the one-sided narrative.
Scott understands the video is damning, and he admits on that.
There's no why. See, to try to cosplay that and cop-splain that makes it worse because everybody knows what they see. There's no reason to do that to violently, physically aggressive man who's not doing that to you. No reason.
That day, he should have done one thing.
Walk away.
Instead, Scott says he let this man, who CBS Chicago identified as James, get the best of him. James came into the station filming and refused to stop recording. When Scott was called down to the lobby, he claims the man threatened his family.
When we humanize the badge, so when we humanize that, then we understand.
Now, the theatrics, that's what would anger me if I was in front of him. This right here. This right here is what pisses me off. He wants to behave like he's the victim after what the world's seen. He needs a little more than a talking to, if y'all know what I mean.
You understand the frustration. You understand what it took. You understand what's at stake. Do you?
No, this is a self-hating nigga who has disdain for his own damn people. That's what this is. Because he probably wouldn't have handled someone else like this. A lot of Negroes, they see their own brothers and sisters through the eyes of their own goddamn enemy. And they hate themselves, so they don't see no divinity in their brother when they look at them because they hate their damn self. So when they look at their brother, they hate them too. Because why? Because it's a mirror. A self-hating nigga, when he see his own brother, he's looking in the mirror. And I hate self-hating ass nigga. I can't stand self-hating ass niggas. Hopefully one day we will rid ourselves of self-hating niggas.
Do you understand what you protected? So then the badge meant nothing at that point.
His actions cost him his badge.
I first initially came to Robbins as the deputy chief.
And his law enforcement career, which included 23 years as a federal agent before joining Robbins PD.
A defaming of my name has caused a strike.
You defamed your own name. Nobody lied on you. If nobody said nothing, nobody uttered a word, what we seen you do is enough. You defamed your own dirty, filthy ass name.
Strike against my integrity.
But the man on the end of those punches described a much scarier situation that day.
What is integral about what we see? Absolutely nothing. What integrity is this dude showing as the leader, as the police chief? This is the police chief. See, this dumb ass nigga with credentials don't realize that he's being used in a system of racism. They'll say, well, the police department at Robbins Police Department is not racist because we got a nigga that'll do that to his own people. So if I do that to him, all I gotta do is point to the damn nigga cop and say the nigga did it. See, I don't use nigga as a term of endearment. I use nigga towards somebody who don't behave according to how we should behave towards each other. If he's acting other than himself, he's a damn nigga.
He told the two officers to cut the cameras off. And they just started beating me.
What did you mean when you said cut the cameras off?
My mind wanted to hold a conversation with him.
Scott resigned days before the Robbins mayor wanted to terminate him, and he hopes any cop or person can learn from what he calls a huge lapse in judgment.
One mistake doesn't define a person.
That wasn't a mistake. The man came down there to sign a complaint on you because of something that you did previously. And you retaliated, said you are tired of him. So that's not a mistake. And not only that, as the leader of the police department, as the example, the chief of the police department, you behave like this. This is the example of what leadership in the police department is. And you want us to believe that it's a mistake.
And after that 2-year probation period, Scott won't be watched anymore, but he will never be allowed to work in law enforcement again here in Illinois. In Robbins, Jermont Terry, CBS News, Chicago.
He shouldn't be able to work in law enforcement anywhere. But I'm sure a police department will take him. But you know what, though? Once we find out, it'll be short-lived. Because there's a lot of police officers who get fired and then they go somewhere else. And then once we find out, that is short-lived. So you can say Illinois is all he wants. But if he go to another department and they find out who he is and where he came from, that's going to be short-lived.
The city of Robbins tells us what you saw in the body cameras was the reason the mayor immediately placed Scott on leave. A spokesman adds Scott's behavior was not indicative of village standards.
Evidently, it is. Because if you had people standing around, other cops standing around, watching him do it, or not saying, oh, chief, you're losing your cool, pulling him off the man. It is their standard procedure in the culture of their police department. If they can stand by and watch him do that and don't pull him off, that's their culture. That's damn sure their culture. What you think, my brother? Where'd the brother go? The brother drop down? That is their culture.
We did not hear back from the man assaulted or his attorney about Scott's claims his family was threatened.
Going to say his family was threatened. That's the excuse. That's always the excuse.
New at 6, Robbins, former acting police chief Carl Scott has pled guilty to battery charges. This is a story we broke back in July of 2020. 2024. A man was filming inside the Robbins police station when Scott knocked his cell phone out of his hand and then punched him. Scott has been sentenced to 2 years probation. He also had his law enforcement certificate revoked, meaning he can no longer work as a police officer.
That's what they do. I want to thank everyone for joining me this evening. I appreciate everyone for joining me this evening. I didn't want to stay long. I just wanted to ask this question. Is truth alone enough to get justice, our just due? And my sentiment is the truth is not enough. Not among people who don't respect the truth. Not among blatant liars and deceptive liars. Not among them. Not at the apex of corruption and lies. The truth is not enough to get justice. Look at, today in this time, under this administration, some of our people think that because we go to the courts, that we could present the truth to these people and they will adhere to it. I beg to differ. I beg to differ that you can go to these people with the truth and that will be enough to get you justice. I just don't think it can happen. I just don't think it will happen. Not truth alone. That's what I'm asking. Is truth alone enough to get justice? No, it's not. It's not. We've been speaking truth to power for a long time. And I tell people, Dr. King went to Lyndon Baines Johnson without argument in the 60s. And Lyndon Baines Johnson said, I know, but who's going to make me do it? If knowing is half the battle, I said this earlier, if knowing is half the battle, we have to do the other half. Not just presenting truth and thinking that's going to suffice us. It's not. That's just, real talk. It's not. Some people get angry when they hear the truth. The truth angers some people. The truth is disrespectful to some people. And they will make mockery of your truth if your truth have any compromise in it, in the way it's being presented. If it's weak, if you don't stand in a position of power, it will not be respected. I want to thank my brother Maybach, my brother T. Riggles for joining me, my brother Milestone Thoughts, my brother P. Moses, my brother Dre Cobb's Music, D. Allen Warren. Thanks for coming through. Thanks to the missus for joining me. She's always, watching the brother, supporting the brother. I want to thank everyone for joining me this evening. If you haven't gotten your copies of Fire Book 2, the finale, if you haven't gotten your copies of Fire Book 2, the finale, and Fire, go to Amazon, get your copy of Fire Book 2, the finale. Angela King James, Fire Book 2, the finale. Get your copies. A very good read. Yet, if you haven't read the first one, you would be remiss. You will be remiss. You must have both in order to know what's going on. I know P. Moses have both. I know my brother P. Moses have both. He was on it when it first came out. Get yourself a copy of Fire, the original copy Fire, and get your copy of Fire Book 2, the finale. Very good reads. Wife is working on another book. I don't know, what's the name of it, but that's how she work. But she's back to work. I was hoping it's going to be, Fire, the new beginning or something, but I doubt it. I'm not going to doubt it, but she does what she do, and it always come out and they always work out. So until next time, this is your brother Nasir. This is the Enemy's Public. Salute to everybody. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Until next time, peace.
Giving out instructions. Yeah. I just keep it intact, this is a fact, right and exact, I won't step back. Admiration is the feeling that inspires your brain to make you gain self-knowledge, not go insane.